Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see so many deplorable people out there. Congratulations. It's just fun to be winning, isn't it? Isn't it just fun to be winning for once? And I have some news for you. This morning, a new report came out that the U.S. economy for the first quarter of 2018 is growing at 3.5%. 3.5%. We have not had growth like that in a long, long time. My prediction, as you know, Larry Kudlow and I work with Donald Trump as advisors, and we saw him a week or two ago. We're predicting 4% growth for the second half of this year. We have not had 4% growth in this country in almost 25 years. I was asked yesterday on CNN, is this the Obama effect? I said, is this the Obama effect? Can you believe liberals? You know what I said? Yes, this is the Obama effect. It's the effect that Barack Obama is no longer president of the United States. That's why the economy is booming. So, let me talk just for a minute about China, because I'm going to go one step further than Gordon did. He was saying that China is a revolutionary. I'm going to say this, and I wonder how many of you agree with me. China is not an ally. China is an adversary of the United States. China is an adversary, and they are playing a very different game than we are. And if we are going to continue to succeed as the world's economic superpower, and I believe, by the way, when I'm asked by high school and college kids all the time, what is the greatest challenge for our country over the next 50 years? It is not global warming or income inequality or these other things. It is, will this great country of ours, the United States of America, continue to be the world economic superpower? We have been the world economic superpower since the end of World War II. Remember, there was a stretch when people thought the Soviet Union was catching up with the United States, and of course, Ronald Reagan wiped that away without firing a shot. But in the 80s, people thought that Japan was catching up in the United States, and of course, that never happened. But now I would make the case to you, we do have a genuine challenger, and that is China. And we cannot allow China to overtake the United States, right? We have to continue to be the hub of the world economy. Now, that means that we have to do a couple. By the way, I was asked by one of the Chinese economic ministers a couple of years ago whether he thought China would speed past us. And I said, sir, that is not going to happen in my lifetime. And I said, the reason that's not going to happen is because our Chinese are so much smarter than your Chinese. He didn't like that very much, but they are. So look, here's what we need to do. First of all, China is stealing. China is stealing from the United States. We are an information age economy. We produce technology. We produce all sorts of patents, copyrights, and things like that. The latest estimates, ladies and gentlemen, is that China every year is stealing $500 billion, or almost $500 billion of technology by stealing our patents, our copyrights, our inventions. That can't happen anymore, right? And so here is my take on this. I do not believe that Donald Trump can possibly be tough enough in negotiating with China. I believe that Donald Trump should start getting very serious with China and simply saying this: if you are going to be a member of the civilized world society and you are going to have access to American markets, because here is a key point that I think Donald Trump should play with the Chinese. It's very simple. China needs us more than we need them, right? China needs us more than we need them. And we should use that leverage in a couple of ways. Number one, we should not have free trade with China if they're going to continue to steal $500 billion a year from us, right? We cannot have trade with a country that is stealing with us. And number two, and I feel so passionately and strong about this, you'll hear from the experts on national security. I'm not an expert on this, but I think I know what everyone in this room knows, that one of the greatest dangers in this world is this lunatic in North Korea has a nuclear weapon, right? That cannot stand. And you know what? What country has enabled and allowed that to happen? Everyone in this room knows that it's China and Beijing that's allowed that to happen. So here's what I want Donald Trump to say. Until you shut down the North Korea nuclear program, you are not going to have access to American markets. It's that simple. Shut that system down because it's a threat to American prosperity. Look, I am extremely optimistic about the U.S. economy. Donald Trump, you heard him this morning. I mean, one of the most amazing speeches I've ever heard this morning. And he is exactly right about how he has rebuilt the U.S. economy, the tax cut, the deregulation. I love the energy story. You know, if we want to compete with China, you've seen the latest statistics. By the end of this year, ladies and gentlemen, the United States of America, thanks in no small part to Donald Trump's leadership on energy and also the people all around this country who are developing energy, for the first time in 50 years, the United States will surpass Saudi Arabia as the #1 producer of oil and gas in the world. I mean, is that great news or what? So we are winning. We have to continue to win. And the way we are going to beat China is very simple. We're going to use our free market capitalist ideas to make sure that China doesn't overtake us. One other last thing on my way out. Don't you think it's time that China, if they want to be a free society and they want to be a member of the civilized world, that they take Mao off of their currency? Mao was one of the greatest butchers of the 20th century. He killed 200 million of his own people. The fact that China continues to celebrate Mao suggests they don't completely get the freedom thing. Let's make sure that America remains #1 and America remains great again. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you.